My name is Helen Adams, HelenAdams. I was born back in 1900 and, well, we won't go that far.
So you're retiring and it was your last day. You came back to say your goodbyes.
Yes, I did.
What was your fondest memory working here at the station?
My fondest memory? There have been so many. I couldn't just pick out one. There have been so many things that's happened over the last 45 years. So many good things, you know, from live broadcasts at businesses and meeting all of the listeners who actually listen to KTVO. And actually I started on the air with KIRX many years ago, back in 1986, and then they moved me over to KTVO, you know. And those listeners just kind of followed me, and it's just been a great 45 years. I couldn't just pick one thing that really stands out, I don't think, because there have been so many, so many. I do remember a car dealer in Macon. Oh yes, they gave me brand new vehicles to drive on a regular basis. That lasted quite a while too, and I could drive them around and show them off, and that was fun. That was lots of fun, yeah. So that's maybe one that stood out in my mind.
Okay. So since you've been here for a while, can you kind of let our viewers know how the radio has changed and you've been going through the process of that? So
Has it changed? My goodness. When I first started working here, we had these old Mylar sheets. They were plastic sheets, and you had to have a special eraser to erase every day the commercials that were on there. The programs were already printed on, but you had to erase the commercials because every day was different. You know, we'd have a sponsor for like Paul Harvey News on Monday, Wednesday, Friday only, and then somebody else on Tuesday, Thursday. And so we had to type those in every day. And the copy machine that I had back then completely filled up the office that John McConnell and I are in right now. And it filled up that whole little room, and it was operated by ammonia. It was an oscillate machine, and it just reeked of and the pages were green, you know. So anyway, now we have updated equipment and all that. And as far as you can see here in the control room, you know, we have a control board that is like updated, you know, with the slides and dials and everything. And when I first started working on the board, we had these old time control boards that had these huge knobs on them that you had to turn. And we had these carts that looked like 8-track carts. And we still have the machines in here, but they're obsolete. We don't use them anymore. And we'd have to come in and get our program log and set up all of our commercials with those carts and get them ready for our air shift. So we'd have a stack of carts and you'd load them up backwards so that when you turn them over, they'd all be in the right order. And then you'd have to fill up these cart machines and push these buttons every single time, because we didn't have a control board that, you know, operated through the control board to the cart machines. So yeah, a lot of things have changed. Our music, we used to have these two big, humongous turntables in here that had 33 RPM, 78 RPM, and this whole room was filled with records. We had 45s and we had albums all along this wall. And so you had to be careful, you know, because if you play one of the bigger albums and you go to play a 45, you had to change gears on it. And if you didn't change gears, it might sound like Mickey Mouse or something else. So anyway, as you can tell, things have changed there too, because all of our music is put into a computer system now. So all you do is push a button and everything is right there. Hopefully, if it doesn't work, then we call our chief engineers.
There you go. So you said earlier that you started off as a receptionist, and then
Yes.
a couple of years later you were, you know, asked to be a DJ. Did you ever think that would ever happen, that you'd become a radio DJ?
No. Because when I started here, I was fresh out of high school, secretary, receptionist, and I was the traffic controller who, you know, schedules the commercials and the programs. I did that for 18 years, and then worked as high up into management as I could, except for my boss's job. And then when Alvina Britz bought KTVO, she said, you know, and KIRX, she said that she liked the way I answered the phones and wanted me to go on the air. And I said I couldn't do that because I couldn't chew gum and walk down the street at the same time, you know. But she needed an answer by 8 o'clock the next morning. At 5 o'clock that same day, I went in and I said, Alvina, I think I'm going to take you up on that. And I said, what happens if it doesn't work out? She said, too bad. It's sink or swim, Helen. So I didn't want to sink. So I swam and I loved it. And I still yet to this day love being on the air and love talking back and forth with the listeners. And I've made so many friends, you know, through the radio, that long-lasting relationships. And so I'm very grateful, have been very, very blessed.
And what are you going to miss most?
What am I going to miss most? Okay, the things I'm going to miss most are the listeners. They've stood behind me through thick and thin, no matter what was going on in my life. They were always there for me, my friends, my family. I so appreciate it, and my family that I had here at the radio station. You know, I can never say enough about how the listeners always come to bat for me. So I'm really going to miss that.
All right, everybody wants to know, what are you going to do now that you're retired?
I am going to have fun. I have grandchildren. I have a 3-year-old that is just awesome, and she keeps me happy. She's a joy to be around. She has quite the personality, and we just click, you know. So I expect I'll spend a lot of time with her and my family, and so, you know, I'm just going to take life easy and have a good time.
Is there any last words you'd like to let our viewers and your listeners know?
I love you. I love you all. Thank you so much.